All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. So this one is going to be short and sweet. Short and sweet, not a ton to really go over. Um, we're not going to take too long. We're going to try to do 10 minutes max here. Before we jump into it, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Remember our disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky. My results are not the typical results. Remember, I do not invest for my subscribers. And remember, copy trading does not work on this channel. It's all about understanding the strategy. All right. So let's talk about stock FBRX, which was the main stock today. Now I'm green on this stock, $2,300. I did my job. I left out pretty early and I thought things were done, but you know, it turns out that I left the party too soon. So for context, I did find this stock utilizing my scanning software here that I use every day, Momo Pro, right? If we're to come down here and go to our Hive Day momentum scanner and enlarge, you guys will see FBRX is leading the way. FBRX leading the way, 128% move despite pulling back, 29 million shares of volume and 1.46 million available in float, right? So this thing had a very small amount of shares available for the public to trade and high volume, which is usually a recipe for volatility, excitement, momentum, and the hyper scalping style can strive. All right. So for some context, we started off pre-market all the way down here around 610 and it pushed up to $11. So it basically did 100% just in pre-market. Granted, the volume was a little lighter, didn't really get in there up until like 9:20. Let's say about right here. We didn't really see a ton of volume, but still, nevertheless, this thing made a move. It did its it did its thing, right? Pushing up a little bit, setting the tone that we could see a strong morning. And so into the open, you know, the first opening surge move that we look for, right, as the candles essentially make a new high over the pre-market levels, was good, but was rejected by the 200 EMA, which was at 1133. This is a trade I did take. My first trade was green, but then I bought back again thinking this thing would continue. In fact, we got all the way, man, it was so close. I got in below 11 and I thought I sold at the top because this thing was getting halted up 1140. Turns out that I got filled very, very like maybe I sold too soon is what it was. So I'm in, yeah, I'm in at 78, right? As I'm selling, literally as I'm selling, there's 11 and 1140 like all at the same time, and I didn't really get any good fills. But my first trade, as you can see, was pretty decent. But after it got to 1140, it dips back down to 11 where I got back in, and it did not hold, right? So I'm in, I'm selling right at 11. We should have really got the better fill coming out, but I'm back in at 11. So in prior recaps, we spoke about how within just 1 minute, right? Because remember, there's 60 seconds here, which essentially will mean 61-second candlesticks within this 1 minute. It's possible for these stocks to go up and then down. Maybe I should use my other drawing tool here. It's possible for these stocks to go up, then down, then up, then down, all within the same count. And I kind of got a good trade and then caught a loss. So, okay, the opening surge, while it was decent, I tried to dip, I got caught. You know, we zoom out a little bit and we start to see here a bit of another pattern that we look for, which is the W, right? The ABCDW. And there were other stocks. We had some cheaper stocks that didn't move. You know, I was up 1K at my highs on one of the cheaper stocks, or 1200, something like that. I gave back almost everything. And so while I was watching it, those stocks, this one here ended up doing what? Holding up its lows. And we had to move down our first bottom, a midpoint, right? And then it retested the lows, double bottom here, right? Double bottom versus this yellow line down here, double bottom, and then curls back up. Initially, it rejected the midpoint and it's back down. But then the second try over here was the charm and it ripped up, getting halted up. And so this is essentially a consolidation, right? That's how you can look at this. Are we going to go lower, or can this thing hold up its levels and go higher? Kid you not, some people, they might have loaded in right here. They might have loaded in this entire, they might have loaded in 100,000 shares. So when this thing does start to go, they're selling, selling, selling. Maybe this red candle could have gotten some people out completely as they're like selling, selling, selling. But if anybody loaded up in this area here and held through this red candle, they were in position. This is how you can then make 300-400 grand in one day. Is when this thing, you know, you have 100,000 share average. What's this at, like what, $9? And then stock goes to 10, 11, 12, 13. This one got all the way to 17. Depending on where you would have sold your entire position, you could have maybe made like 700,000 in just one day, right? I mean, this is what this market is if you're willing to take on that size. Now, what's the risk if you take on that size? Well, if it goes lower, maybe you lose 50 grand as you're selling, you know, 50 cents, dollar share lower. You lose 100 grand, right? Risk to reward, but do you have the risk appetite? For me, I'm not there yet, but that's the goal, right? Can we get up there at some point? But I'll be after watching a stock like this exclusively and have the conviction and confidence, especially being that it was below VWAP, right? Which sometimes we'll see these do go lower. But anyhow, from there, it pushed up. It got, and you know what? At 10, man, I was long at 10. I think was it right here? Or on the, I think it might have been on this green candle. What, one of these two candles. I think it was the first candle. I'm long at 10. This thing got to like 10.20 here. Was it this candle? So it might have been this one then. You know, this thing got to 10.20. I'm in at like 10.05, 10.08, I think. And then it dips down to like 9.90 or 9.85. I got out, and the moment it got back to 10.20, like maybe like 10 seconds later. I'm like, should I get back in, or are we gonna just come right back down again? You know, like for a drop. I should have gotten back in. I didn't, and it just boom, it ripped up. It ripped up without me. It ripped up without me. I should have bought back. I had no reason to not to. I could have kept the stop tight. I had the intuition that we could go. So that was a little disappointing that I didn't jump back in. So we had an opening surge here, break up the previous highs. We had some panic flushes again, which I didn't really look at any of those. But in terms of bigger picture patterns, we had the A, B, C, D, W. This literally looks like a W. Entries, potentially the first bottom, second double bottom. The midpoint is not a place where I would look to buy the first time around. But if we can break VWAP right here and consolidate or flag, let's say the stock held up, then I can watch for the move up. But coming across right here, like these two areas right here, this is like a retest. So when the stock gets over here these two times, I can try with tight stop, try with tight stop. And as mentioned, I did see it here. Within this green candle, it came down a little bit. I came out, and then it just, you know, it went without me. So the next pattern now, so there's two big patterns, right? Let's just say two big patterns. One, and then we can put this down here, two. The third big pattern is then the halt resumption trade. Right here, what we're looking for is the stock to resume higher, dip a little bit, and then rip. And this one resumed higher, and it just went up. Like, it was hard to just jump in. It would have been such an aggressive trade, especially being that we resumed below the 200 EMA, which we rejected earlier in the day, right? But anyhow, it got halted up, and you can see right here, again, after a 10-minute halt, it resumed significantly higher than it did for this 5-minute halt. If you're holding into this halt up, the stock resumes this much higher. It's like you instantly made the difference in this range here. You instantly made the difference in that range. So some people like to hold into halts up because they typically will resume higher, but other times they sometimes resume lower, right? Now, right here we had a dip and rip, and this is where I made most of my money. You know, it pulled back. I'm in, I'm buying, and then I'm selling. After that, it did come down, and I chopped around a little bit here. I chopped around a little bit, and similar what happened to me right here, where it came down and then went up without me, it happened to me right here again. Right on this green candle right here. I'm like, okay, we have our low. We're somewhat consolidating between these levels here. Are we going to go up or are we going to go down? And I got in right here. It came down, I sold the tight stop. It came back up, and I'm like, should I get in? And it's a it I the answer is that I should every time, because there's an entry with a tight stop. Not because it didn't work last time means that it's not going to work this time. And I didn't go in, and it just ripped without me again. Now it got halted up, and then it got halted up. But this time the resumption resumed higher and then instantly dropped down and halted going down, which then resumed sideways. And right here is where I left. So in conclusion, I didn't get an entry here. I wasn't watching the stock in this area here where we had the ABCDW, right? If we're to zoom out a little bit, let me just clean up the chart a little bit here. I didn't get my entries. So again, I'm not watching it here. I did try in this area for scratch trades, one winner, one loser, ended up being flat. Missed most of this, came back perfect timing right here. Got chopped out. No entry here. First entry came, or second entry, let's say for me. I dominated it. Third entry, fumbled it. And then right here, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shut it down. It's been a good day. And you know what? Usually when I shut down the live stream, I'll stick around a little bit. But I went to the bathroom right here, bathroom break. Took a bathroom break. And then I came back. The stock is right here. It's already had this resumption. So it looks like it curled up. And remember this area here, the high, right? Low. Are we going to go up or are we going to go down? Same thing over and over. So if I was here, I would have been watching this area. And even if I'd gotten stopped out here, again, it would have been the third time I would have been in a similar situation of trying to get the move. This time right here, I would have had to been aggressive to jump in, man. And if I did, I would have caught this move. I would have been in great rhythm. And it got halted up. I don't know how this trade looked. But if it did dip and rip right here, more than likely I would have done extremely well. It then gives a bit of a 3-bar play. Not really a red candle, but it continues. So, you know, sometimes it's pretty close. Again, a bathroom break. I'm back. Its stock is already up here. When I saw it up here, I'm like, you know what? Don't do it. Don't do it. Can this go to 20? I thought maybe, but I'm like, man, like you missed from 12 to 18, basically. Like, I think I saw it like 17.50 right here. Like, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. And so, again, are we gonna go up or are we gonna go down? And ended up that was it. That was the high. That was the high for the day. If we zoom out, we'll see that if I did give in to FOMO and try to revenge trade for missing the move on this flyer, and it did look decent. Could this go to 20? And I was watching it here, but I wasn't aggressive to just jump in. I'm like, I need to see some confirmation at least because it's so high up. Because right here is where you can lose the most. Like, if I'm up 2K here, right here I would have wanted to double, triple, quadruple my day already. Okay, if I'm up 8K right here, and then I lose 2K and I'm down to 6K, right? Minus 2K right here on this move down, then hey, no big deal. But then to just be up 2K because you're missing everything here, AFK, and then try to be super aggressive here, it's just, it's a little too risky, right? You want to capitalize as the stock is going, and so you're comfortable, and you're where you need to be. But I think I do need to change my mindset a little bit. I felt that being that there was not an entry here, the risk was going to be higher, which is a little true. But I think I sold myself a little short, not still being aggressive, because the reality is the market can be irrationally strong, and when it is, the stocks like this will just keep going. And so if you're not aggressive here, then you're probably not going to be aggressive here. But if you set the tone early, which earlier is the better, then you can stand a good chance at really doing well, right? And we saw some traders in our chat room kill it today, man. So shout out to the students, shout out to the team, and that's gonna do it for the recap here. Hope you guys enjoyed a quick recap. Yesterday we were green 4.6K. I didn't make a recap because I had a crazy headache, but today we're feeling better and we're getting this one out here quick. So yeah, 4.6 yesterday, 2.3 today. Granted that maybe we could have, 2.8. Granted, maybe we could have done 10K today plus, maybe, the key for me with these stocks once I'm in rhythm, I just have to use size. I can see myself doing 50K days on these stocks, but I gotta trade like a real man. I gotta trade like LeBron James in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left on the clock. Demand the basketball, demand a hot move, and then do what I know how to do best with confidence as a fierce warrior, as the number one gladiator in the arena. And then I can come out on top like Hercules or Achilles or one of these crazy guys. But anyhow, you gotta push it. I mean, if you like, it depends, right? I mean, if you're somebody you're content with 100 bucks a day or 500 bucks a day, which some people have their day job, their careers. If they're making 500 bucks a day at the end of the year, they've made an extra 100,000, which they can do so much with. But for me, as much as it is, 2.8 thousand is a lot of money, but my dreams and ambitions are showing me 100K on a day like this. So it sounds insane and it sounds far away, but it really isn't with the right mindset. Like, I already have the information as to where to buy and sell, but am I willing to take 8,000 share size in those areas every trade? Bro, you do that and you're trading fiercely. I mean, man, like I can only, ooh, I can see it. The days are coming, man. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Just like how I went from 50 bucks a day to this number. This number is going to turn into 100K. Mark my words. Relentless Trader signing out. Hit that thumbs up. Check out the link down below for my course. Check out the link for my scanner. Check out the link for my chat room. Catch you guys later. It's been RT, and I'm signing out.